Imagine this: you step into a room, and the air itself takes a step back. No one understands why, but they feel it. You aren't even sure what's happening. Yet for a second, the world obeys you, and that second changes everything. You can feel the geometry of the space shift under your gaze. Not because you're the strongest or the loudest, but because you're the quietest and most composed. Silence becomes your armor, and people respond to it with their bodies. They always told you, confidence is a loud voice. A straight back and a firm handshake were considered proof. That's a myth sold to those who fear silence. Real power is often invisible, and it speaks little. The truth is darker and more honest. Confidence is often faked, and the fake version really works in a crowd. Their psychology outweighs reason and logic. Masks control people's reactions, and reality bends to the role. The old belief goes, confidence is a state of mind, but that's only part of the picture and not the main one. The new idea speaks of the staging of behavior. It's frames, rituals, and habits that hide doubt, and they shape how you are perceived. The value frame is the first thing people read. Do you price yourself high or put yourself on clearance? Price is not a number but an internal policy on access. It's the readiness to leave when terms are broken, and the willingness to spend time only on what matters. Mini story. A guy on a date pours out a stream of achievements. The girl listens, nods, and gets bored. He calmly adds, "If we don't click, I'll head out in 20 minutes. No hard feelings." Her attention sharpens instantly because he showed he's willing to walk away. The paradox is simple. When you don't cling, they cling to you. It isn't magic. It's biology. The nervous system senses scarcity and reacts to it. The brain loves what it can lose, and it values what doesn't beg. The quiet dominant doesn't ask for attention. It organizes the space with an invisible rhythm. Like a bass line holds the music, your tempo holds the dialogue. It's hard to notice but easy to feel. Without it, the conversation falls apart. When you enter a meeting, you don't fill the pauses. You create them and hold them. You look, you breathe, you wait for an answer. Silence becomes the most expensive sound in communication, and people adapt to your rhythm. The quiet dominant doesn't ask for attention. It organizes the space with an invisible rhythm. Like a bass line holds the music, your tempo holds the dialogue. It's hard to notice but easy to feel. Without it, the conversation falls apart. When you enter a meeting, you don't fill the pauses. You create them and hold them. You look, you breathe, you wait for an answer. Silence becomes the most expensive sound in communication, and people adapt to your rhythm. They write to you, "Urgent. Where's the file? Everything's on fire." Before, you apologized and ran. Today you answer, "Got it. I'll be back with a solution at 1400 hours." You drop an anchor in time and claim a pause. Power returns to your hands. Inside you still tremble, and that's normal. Confidence doesn't erase fear. It disciplines your reaction and builds a ritual. You act despite the inner noise. Fear becomes background, not a director. Meaning over symptom is the key to resilience. People fix voice and posture but ignore the cause. Without meaning, you're forced to perform. With meaning, the performance writes itself, and the external signal becomes natural. A small check. Why are you here right now? Not in the cosmos, in this room and this meeting. The mind loves a destination and a route. Then thinking straightens and calms down. Emotions stop rushing around. The owner of time sets the rhythm for others. It's not, "I can do everything." It's, "I plan and execute." You shape people's habits around your time windows, and you reduce chaos in communication. That's how the sense of footing grows. In an interview, you don't beg for a chance. You check for alignment of expectations. "Let's see if we're a fit for each other," you say. The frame becomes mirrored and equal, and the talk becomes a negotiation. People don't hear words. They hear context. Context is built by pauses, tempo, and the order of questions. That's why the winner is often not the best but the structured one. They make the thought easy to digest, and their decisions feel more reliable. The brain remembers the beginning and the end more than the middle. The confident control the entry and the exit. Entry is a clear reason and goal for the meeting. Exit is a specific next step and time. That's how impressions are sealed. Entry: I have 5 minutes and 3 items. Goal: risks, solution. You set the corridor of attention at once. Exit: 2 days for calculations. I'll be back Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Communication turns into geometry, and there are fewer emotions in it. The more justifications, the less trust. Explanation is the currency of scarcity. Clarity is the currency of strength and responsibility. Short formulas are worth more than long novels, and they leave fewer holes for pressure. The limit of availability protects your energy. Fake confidence is always on call and eager to please. Real confidence doses replies and time. It's not a game but the ecology of the psyche. And respect for your own resources. The practice is simple. Disable the extra notifications. Set response windows for messages. The brain is not a fire station. It doesn't have to burn. Time habits create power habits, and they lower the anxious hum. Meaning compression makes speech dense. One sentence, one action or criterion. Remove the extra and leave the direction. It's a style of thinking, not a trick. This is how people hear you more precisely. The team argument is boiling and loud. You look up and state 3 lines. Criterion: X. Deadline: Friday. Owner: Maria. The noise drops and flattens instantly because the brain received structure. The right to refuse is the foundation of confidence. Without no, any yes sounds like a plea. Boundaries need periodic defense. Otherwise, they get eaten by someone else's rush. Strength begins with a choice. Before every yes, ask 2 questions. How much of my time does this cost? And what will this take from me? These filters cut the unnecessary, and they return control over resources. That's how self-respect grows. Boundaries without excuses sound laconic. The simple formula is enough. No, not a priority right now. Fewer words mean fewer hooks for manipulation, and fewer chances to drag you into an argument. Brevity is armor. People will get angry, and that's predictable. Their brain is losing leverage. They'll call you cold or difficult, but that's the price of warmth toward yourself, and the fee for resilience.